Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. A baby daddy and a womb imprint are not the same thing. I want to clear that up because I've been seeing some statements lately about the womb imprint. Now remember, I introduced the term to this space, and Master Teacher BGS added his take on it. And for those naysayers, it's known. It's basically known. The concept of imprinting is known. Dr. John Money has talked about that and he called them love maps. And in indigenous cultures, they're aware of the womb imprint. So the information is out there for somebody who wants to do the serious research on it. Look up the term love map, look up the name Dr. John Money. But I wanted to get into really differentiating between a baby daddy and a womb imprint, because the statements I've been seeing, like, of course you have a significant number of men who don't want to mess with a single mother. And the reasoning of many of these men is that the single mother is, the baby, the father of that child, that's the woman's imprint. No, not at all. It could be, but in many cases, I'm gonna say in most cases, it's not. The only circumstance that that baby daddy and the womb imprint are the same thing is a situation usually where it's really a situation where she was a virgin and had a baby right away. Very few women do. You have 32 forms of birth control. It's real hard for that to happen. Or unless it's a situation maybe in a certain cultures or subcultures where a woman actually maintains her virginity, religious cultures, and maybe in Islamic countries or something like that. And the first man who has sex with her is also her imprint. Now, let me clarify the imprint. The imprint is not just the first man. It's the first 2 or 3 men. I always say 3 men. I always say 3. It could just be the first 2. It's never the first one, though. That's just the opening, because what happens is the womb imprint is the first 3 men that she has sex with. And psychologically, subconsciously, her mindset will change her to attract the combination of those 3 men. Because psychologically, subconsciously, her subconscious is thinking, oh, this is what you like. Okay, this is how you need to behave. So because women are psychologically influenced by the men they have sex with, that sets the imprint. And let me be clear about this. The imprint simply means the men she will have a natural attraction for. A woman can actually fall in love, and have a happy marriage with a guy who doesn't represent her imprint. Let me say it again. She can actually get in a relationship. It's tough. It's tough for the simple reason is the woman has a natural attraction for a man who resembles an imprint. It'll be easier for him. Now, she can get with someone else, but she would have to do a lot of work, and that man would have to have a whole lot going for him, or something that she wants at that particular point in her life. Like I said, it's some work. She would have to consciously fight her natural inclination. And then that man, he would have to bring something. And then if you're talking about when I first introduced the term womb imprint, there was discussion on breaking the imprint. Honestly, it's hard. It's hard. It's a little bit deeper. There's a lot of deep psychological stuff you got to do. It's not easy, even giving that woman an orgasm. And let me say something about that orgasm. Most women, they didn't have an orgasm with their imprint. Just having sex don't mean they were just penetrated. Indeed, most imprints are negative with women. Let me say it again. Most imprints are negative. Just the first 3 guys she had sex with, they might not have been good sex. Seriously, that might not have been good sex. especially if they're teenagers. Anybody who knows, sometimes, that little girl, she just want to experience it. That young girl, she want to experience sex. And, it might be just some cool guy in the neighborhood. She say, hey, come over, let's do this. She ain't having, she just laying there. She, that 15 minutes, if it can last 15 minutes, she think it's something, but she ain't having an orgasm. It take a lot for a woman to have an orgasm, especially in this culture. There's a lot to it, and that's a whole other conversation. A lot of women are sexually repressed. So they might have just had sex with that guy or, whatever, and it might not did anything for her. But psychologically, even if she don't realize it, even if she didn't like the experience, psychologically, she'll keep going for a guy who got one of those personality traits. Like I said, a combination of it. And indeed, let me get deeper. Some women's imprint might have been molestation, might have been incest, might have been just straight up rape. I know a young lady, I ain't gonna call her name, but her imprint was a gang rape. She had a train ran on her. You have seriously, it's all types of stuff. Because psychologically, the subconscious don't make a difference on how it happened. It's just know it's been penetrated. So it trust me. But then you might have a woman, she might actually get some psychological help. She might actually work on it and then consciously make a decision to go away from it. Especially if a guy can bring her some pleasure and other stuff that she needs at that moment in her life. Now, understand something. Her imprint probably didn't get her pregnant. Her imprint probably didn't get her pregnant. There's tons of women out here, they've been through 10 guys before they graduated high school. Let's just be real with it. Or then when they go to college, something happen. They might not have a baby until they reach their 30s. That biological clock is ticking. And they meet a guy, and he a good guy. He don't look that bad to her physically, personality-wise. She think he might be involved in the child's life, or she just want his seed. There's plenty of women out here, and they're just poor women. Or in these neighborhoods, you get a lot of professional women who will have that one child. Women making money, they will just have that one child. A lot of professional women. And the guy they have it with may or may not resemble her imprint. That's the key. It's not an automatic. Even the baby daddy might not even resemble it. Definitely might not be the parent of that child. Definitely might not be it. Because see, a woman, okay, say, let me give her just a plain example. Okay, the woman got the imprint. She got imprinted, had sex with 2 or 3 guys between 15 and 18. Some as young as 13. Okay, fine. I've actually met some women. I've met plenty of women. They might not have had that baby until their 30s or late 20s. I've met plenty of women like that, for whatever reason. And like I said, some of them were professionals. The guy they got with, he could be totally different. He might resemble the imprint. Like I say, it's a natural thing, but then women can consciously go away from that imprint. It might, because their imprint could be some average looking dude, some average looking out of shape dude, but then they meet that like alpha showpiece, that muscular, handsome, muscular dude, and they just want his seed. It happens. It's the same thing with sperm donor. It's like a sperm donor thing. What they got to do with the baby daddy. Incidentally, that sperm donor thing, a lot of these professional women, the guy, they basically had it. In fact, in that TV show, Insecure, which me and Miss Mocha Angel will be doing a review of when it comes back for the season 5. One of the storylines is one of the characters, Condola, having the character Lawrence's baby. And she told him in the last season, it's like, look, she'll raise it by herself. A lot of women do that. But he might not the character Lawrence might not resemble her imprint. See, they're two different things. You can always understand that. Always understand that. And I wanted to be clear about that, because a lot of people, a lot of guys, and just in general, not even with the baby daddy, but they think there's no chance with a woman if she's been imprinted by someone else. Look, the reality is, unless you're a 14-year-old watching this, it's likely that woman has an imprint. You may or may not resemble that imprint. It helps if you do, but sometimes it helps if you don't, because most women's imprints are negative. Most women didn't have sex. Their first time was not with Chad or Tyrone. People don't realize that. Anybody who's out here and you talk to some of these young girls, dude might have been just some decent dude. He could have been some dude who she go to church with. It depends. A lot of women don't meet those guys on that level. You know, it's not automatic that he's like the hot dude. In fact, let me throw something about that whole Chad and Tyrone thing. It's funny, it's rare I see any of Chad's kids. I see all these pictures of, people talking about these women, or find some clips of women going crazy over a guy, but it's rare you see that guy in a picture with a child. I'm just saying. A lot of the baby daddies and stuff out here, most of them are just regular guys. If you actually look at the guys who like popping out some babies and stuff, or they ain't on that level. There's a lot. Now, some of them are, but a lot of them, they just kind of regular dudes. There's a lot to it. And when you talk about the womb imprint, it's not always the top dude in the school. It's not always the top dude in the school. In fact, a lot of women been imprinted by some scuzzy dude. Or you get a lot of young girls. Young girls now, their first man was quite frankly an older guy in their 20s or something. Let's just be real with it. I gotta throw that out there. Some guy in his 20s. Think about it. If you got a man in his 20s and stuff messing with some young girl under the age of 18 where he could get arrested or something like that, that dude ain't select. And he probably ain't the top dude. Seriously, when it's that young, it's different. You talking about, some older guys, and, they silver foxes or something messing with some 20-year-olds. But when you talking about some guys messing with some women in high school, and I had some teachers tell me that. You get these young girls and they got, 15, 16, got 20-year-old guys picking them up. I've personally known some women and some young girls in that age messing with the older guy. Ain't no like top-notch dude messing with some young girl like that. So that's not necessarily, and think about the mentality of somebody of that age messing with some young girl like that. It's not always like, the top things. So the imprint ain't always positive, all right? Always understand that. So anyway, just understand that basic thing. The womb imprint, first 2 or 3 men. The baby daddy could be man number 50. It is what it is. So, but understand that they're two different things. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.